Directly, I'm speaking on behalf of that specific question.
Do you have a question in here?
I do, and it's the exact same one that she has.
Go for it.
There are many polls that a lot of Americans have taken, and they are asking, they're in favor of an immigration reform. And I am here along with other people, and we want to know what is your intake on the immigration reform and if you will support it.
Well, obviously, immigration reform is a very general statement. It's kind of like saying, are you for national security? I think there's no doubt we need immigration reform. Obviously, our current immigration system is not working for employers. It's not working for people who are trying to come here legally. It's not working for our ag industry, which I have. Number one industry in my district is agriculture. Number two is manufacturing. And so I've met with high-skilled manufacturers. I've met with a large international engineering firm in Springfield, having a hard time getting H-1B visas, high-tech visas into the country. Ag communities having a hard time getting ag visas, ag workers into the country. And then our office deals with immigration because it's a federal issue on a daily basis. Tiffany over here in my office, that's her specialty. She wakes up every morning and deals with immigration. So nobody has to convince me that our current system does not work. Our current system is broken. How we fix it, obviously, the devil is all in the details. And what I've been a proponent of in the House is advancing the ball down the court to try and get it through the hoop. I don't believe we're ever going to have a perfect solution. And so I'm not somebody who says, well, gee, I've got 20 boxes and we got to check all 20 boxes in order for me to vote for a bill. But I do think that the Senate made a good first attempt. I think the House of Representatives can make it better. And I think what the House is going to do is, rather than one big omnibus bill, they're going to move a step-by-step approach. They're going to move one bill after another, dealing with all the various issues that were contained in the Senate bill. So first, the border security bill will be the first bill that moves in the House. I think that's going to be an easy bill to pass. It passed out of the Homeland Security Committee with almost unanimous support. Almost every Republican and Democrat on Homeland Security voted for the House border security bill. I think that'll pass the House. I think that's a done deal, knock on wood. Then you're going to deal with your high-tech visas and your ag visa worker programs. I think, again, you're going to get overwhelming bipartisan support on those provisions. I don't know what the final language is going to look like. Then you're going to have a third bill, which is going to deal with your DREAM Act kids, the kids who are brought here illegally by their parents. I think, again, you're going to get a bipartisan vote on a House version of the DREAM Act. And the final bill, which will be the most difficult bill, will be dealing with people who are here currently illegally and what is the solution for them. There are people in the House who say we should find a way to grant them legal status, but not a path to citizenship. There are other people who say no, it has to be a path to citizenship. My mindset is that people should come forward, should have to pay a penalty and a fine. There should be a probationary period. I am not in the camp that believes that people should have to leave the country in order to get in line. I just happen to believe that's an unrealistic expectation that 11 million people are going to leave. I think it would be disruptive to our economy, number one. Number two, many of them do not have a place to go back to, even if they wanted to. And number three, I think it adversely affects the self-identification. If somebody self-identifies and knows now they have to leave. So I want whatever we pass to work. I want it to be a real reform bill, and I want it to be constructive to the overall process of having more legal immigration down the road. The other thing I think that gets lost in this conversation about illegal immigration is that there's all this focus on our borders, and everybody wants to beef up the borders and border agents and drones and all this stuff. Okay, maybe I wasn't enough of a cowboy and Indian in my younger years, but the reality is 40% of the people who are here illegally today did not come across our southern borders. They came here on illegal work visas, many from European countries, Asian countries, and the like, and they've overstayed their work visa. And so to simply say this is a matter, on the case of illegal immigration, that this is simply a matter of border security, I remind my colleagues in the House and the Senate that we need to really look at the employer verification systems that we have to make sure that somebody here who's working on a legal visa that when that visa expires, that the employer is held accountable and the individual is held accountable if they overstay their visa. Because just beefing up the border and then still allowing 40% of the people who are here illegally to stay here illegally because they overstay their visas doesn't fix the problem of illegal immigration.
Okay, so you are in favor of a pathway to citizenship then?
Well, I think there should be a pathway to citizenship for anybody who wants to come to America.
But what about the
Right.
ones that are here
So,
now?
Yeah, so here's what I think ought to happen. I think they ought to self-identify, I think they should pay back taxes, and I think they should be on a legal probationary program. So if you break a law, if you do something wrong, you're thrown out. But I don't think there should be anything stopping somebody who self-identifies, pays their back taxes, and continues to pay taxes in our country to get in the back of the line with everybody else who wants to become an American citizen. What I don't support is giving any kind of preferential treatment to people who are here illegally above those people who are outside our borders currently that are waiting in line. So I don't believe that somebody who's here illegally today should be forbidden from being able to apply through the normal course of the process for their citizenship. So, but you understand the semantics when you say comprehensive immigration, you say path to citizenship, that gets people all excited, you know? And so I think we gotta just walk everybody away from the cliffs, everybody put down their weapons, and realize, we are a nation of immigrants. My great-grandfather came here from Germany when he was 14 years old. And he came because his parents didn't have enough food to feed him. And he came here and started a fruit stand in Chicago. And that was the early 1900s, and there were a lot of Germans fleeing then. And the Polish came to Chicago and did the same thing. And every wave throughout our country's history has been a wave of immigrants who've come here, who've done work that second, third, fourth, fifth generation Americans haven't wanted to do. And it's been a reason why our country's as successful as it is. If you look at, meet with different economists out in Washington, D.C., Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody says part of our challenge economically in our country is we have a birth rate of about 1.9. And you need about a 2.3 birth rate in order to have the kind of economic growth we need in our country. And part of the challenge is our immigration program is screwed up to the point where we're not getting the influx of immigrants on low-skilled and high-skilled workers in our country that we need for our economy. So it's not just, yes, there's family reunification as an issue and the like, but it's also about economic growth for our country and keeping our country the vibrant ethnic hub that it's been for the 200 years we've been around. So,
What are you going to do when the Senate won't take up any of the bills you pass?
well, the Senate's really good at killing House bills, but we are an equal chamber. And so what I would say to that is the same thing I would say to those who say the House needs to take up the Senate bill. Go back to my government class in 8th grade. House passes a bill, Senate passes a bill, and you go to conference to negotiate it out, and then whatever comes out of conference has to pass the House and the Senate. I think there are significant differences in what the House will pass from what the Senate passed. But I don't think those differences are so significant and so insurmountable that we can't reach a deal. I would be disappointed if the Senate's reaction to the House is take it or leave it our way or the highway. I think the American people deserve better than that. I think if that's the move of the Senate, the American people will react negatively to that. But as a House member, I can only control my vote in the House and what happens in the House. And so what I've been trying to do is be constructive in this process, keep the ball moving down the court. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of good. Don't let people worrying about what the finished product's going to look like from getting us to actually get something done.
Well, but the history has been the House caves.
Well,
is the House going to cave?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
So,
Can I just say thank you for answering my question and
Sure.
for saying that you're going to support? Thank you.